In the turn of the 20th century, a group of Lebanese immigrants settled in Akron, Ohio. Their journey in this land of opportunity was difficult, but despite the desperation of their labors, they found hope through their faith in God. They practiced devoutly their belief as Catholics, but longed to celebrate the heritage and traditions of the Maronite rite. And so this small group of determined men and women gave of their time and talent, their blood and sweat, tears of joy and tears of exhaustion, and every penny they could spare. And by 1936 were able to open the doors of the Maronite Catholic Church, a church they named in deference to our Holy Mother, our sister, our loving guide, Our Lady of Hope, Our Lady of Peace, Our Lady of the Cedars of Mount Lebanon. In the years following the consecration and dedication of our first church building, the Lord saw fit to provide us with the most stalwart pastoral guidance, good men who with fervent faith and commitment answered the call of God to serve Him in His royal priesthood. Their character was above reproach and allowed them to stand as good stewards before our community. Their faces and presence became as familiar and welcomed as were the faces of our fathers and uncles, our brothers and cousins. They dedicated their lives to fulfill Christ's message of joy. They celebrated with us in the happiest times of our lives, and they were there with the loving embrace of Jesus in the darkest hours. Their leadership set the tone for guiding us in our faith, and by their example, they helped to build a community that was not merely a group of believers, but rather a loving family. The priests of our parish, along with our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, handed to us the gifts of faith, hope, and love, so that we may spread the good news of Christ to all we meet. And today, like our founders, we face some daunting challenges that pose a serious risk to the very existence of our church community. Our church building here in Fairlawn, Ohio is nearly 30 years old, and as such, a number of repairs have reached a critical level. Some of our repairs are less urgent than others, such as repairing our front sign or fixing the speaker system of our bell tower, a tower that has now been silent for as many years as it was active. Then there are tasks that threaten the structure of our complexes, such as roof repairs and replacement of heating and air conditioning units that are broken and are posing a danger to the safety and well-being of our parishioners and patrons of our banquet center. The parking lot has not been sealed for several years, and now there are crevices and potholes that appear unsightly to potential patrons of our banquet center, lead to damages of our vehicles, and most importantly can pose a threat to our elderly and those who may be unsteady in their gait and prone to falling. These costs of repair are going to be quite exorbitant. But with diligence and commitment, it is possible to repair this facility. So can we complete this mission? Can we prepare for the next generation in the same way that our loving founders prepared for us? We have a rich and proud heritage. We have a loving and strong community, and a church complex that even with its current needs provides us with a beautiful and peaceful place to worship and grow as a family of faith. To keep moving forward, to keep our very community alive, we, all of us, All of us will need to be committed to this repair process, and we will need to make sacrifices. You may say to yourself that maintaining a building does not seem as important or monumental of a task as was the task of those who built it. But with every repair we make, we add our own special type of brick and mortar. Not the kind of brick and mortar that builds a shelter, but rather the kind of brick and mortar that builds onto the history of this beautiful church and ensures the hope for our future. This community was entrusted to us, and while we are its guardians, we must keep the church strong and give. We must give according to our ability. We must give not for our own glory, but to honor the sacrifices of our parents and grandparents and all those who spent their lives giving for our sake. We give for the sake of keeping safe what we have, and we give for our children, so they too may know Christ through our Maronite Catholic Church, and they too may benefit from the intercession of Our Lady of the Cedars of Mount Lebanon. It is God's house, but He has made it for us a loving home.